Good evening! It's Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. By the way, none of that's making it to the show. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole! What separates our show from other Millennial news podcasts?
That we're going to pre-lament the Democrats having more votes to do another assault weapons ban. Because we can remember that, that was the thing that killed all those Democrats in 94, right?
That, and we have a boomer and a degenzi. And a Gen Zer.
In a degenerate Zer.
That's what I thought you were saying.
I mean,
Yeah,
fucking
A
accurate.
degenerate Gen Zer?
a degenerate Zer.
Okay.
Goddamn degen.
We have a boomer and a Gen Zer, and not any boomer and Gen Zer. We have Mr. BoomerRex himself,
Howdy.
and my spawn, Sleet.
I don't even know why I'm here anymore.
That is fair. Asshole and Boomer eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and Sleet and I are learning that's 4 unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. Now, I have an interesting article to share with you all for a good laugh. We all have needed a good laugh for a long time, so we're going to talk about that later. And I
Okay.
have some
So we're gonna
homework
do it later.
All
to
right.
give you all, and then we'll talk about something else tomorrow. So,
All right.
listen, stay for the end to hear your homework.
Damn it, I have to stay awake this time.
Let's dig right into our headlines. Whoa, rough sex.
I figured we'd start off on a topic, get people's attention.
Yeah, I love this. This is good.
So anyway, this is a cold case, right? And there are hundreds of victims. For decades, scientists have puzzled over a gruesome mystery over what killed a bunch of fossilized frogs. They called it a death trap. Anyway, it's in Germany, dating to millions of years ago.
Fucking Germany and weird porn.
And now we've taken, yeah. No, we won't talk about German porn.
no.
That's
so-
Not on my
Yeah.
microphone, we won't.
Yeah. So anyway,
We'll have to bleach it after.
there are lots and lots of samples, and we've gotten better and better at looking at them and so forth. So anyway, these frogs are absolutely perfectly healthy, except they're dead. Turns out that little boy frogs, apparently for millions of years, have been drowning little girl frogs while they had sex with them. So they hold them underwater.
Yeah.
Apparently they can't hold their breath all that well. So anyway, turns out, it's a... what is
I
it?
take it that particular species, that was like the last big hurrah in this
No.
one pond.
Modern
Just
fro-
prolific.
I think it probably just either they had a lot of frogs or they had a bunch of seasons of frogs. That would be how you get a big pile. And
Gross.
Are they all dated to around the same time?
yeah, I mean within 500,000 years or whatever. So
So either we found the frog cruising spot, or
does it have water?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a frog
Okay.
cruising spot.
That's
So we used to have a little tiny pond, and there were literally hundreds of frogs. So
I remember my friend lived, and they were building like this church site or whatever. So they
Yeah.
were filling in like ponds and stuff. So we would go and rescue the tadpoles because there were thousands of tadpoles in these shallow pools at the
Trying to
construction
rescue them was
site.
your mistake.
which were
in
rapidly
the mud.
thinning out.
Right. So
Yeah.
we would take them from there and we would move them to a marsh, which was on the other
Okay.
side of the back of her house. So
You did 'em a
they
good
would
turn.
they would go into this big marsh and they'd be fine. But
Yeah.
we used to do that on weekends until obviously the pools dried up. But
Yep. Nope. There was a low spot in one of our fields, and it would make frogs every year, and there was no place to take them. Some of them survived, but not.
well, I
many.
imagine out here they probably just bury themselves, right?
Yeah, well, the ones out
Right.
here mature very quickly,
Ah,
They
so
kinda
they don't
have to.
spend long as tadpoles. And yes, then they bury themselves. and
Oh,
wait.
cool.
So
All right, let's move on. Just sue the bastards.
So the doctor at the center of the national firestorm about abortion has taken the first steps to sue the Indiana Attorney General, who
Good.
accused her of failing to report the procedure. Dr. Caitlin Menard performed an abortion on a 10-year-old girl who had been raped and impregnated. The abortion, which was reported in the Indiana Star, came just weeks after Roe v. Wade, and it ignited a powder keg. The conservatives began by saying that it was a lie and there was no
It was
rape
too
and
perfect,
so forth.
therefore.
And right, because there hadn't been an arrest. And then there was an arrest. So then they decided, well, it hadn't been properly reported when the abortion was performed. And
They're
no,
coming up
that
with
was a
any
lie as
excuses.
well. It was absolutely properly reported, and anybody who had bothered to check would have known that. So anyway, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita told Fox News last week, we're gathering the evidence as we speak, and we're going to fight this to the end, and including looking at her licensure, and she failed to report it. It's a crime to not report. And anyway, health records confirm that she reported the abortion within the allotted time to both Indiana Department of Health and the Department of Child Services, as well as noting for them that the girl had been abused. So Mr. Rokita either knew those statements were false or acted with reckless disregard to the truth or falsity of the statement, reads a tort claim filed Tuesday.
Yeah,
So,
I
given the
I hope
current
that doctor-
political atmosphere, his comments were intended to heighten public condemnation who legally provided legitimate medical care.
Yeah.
hope that doctor wins all of the other people's monies. Because honestly, it's just fucking stupid what's happening here.
Yeah, well,
Agreed.
He did something completely legally, and we're coming up with every possible excuse as to why what was happening either didn't happen or was done wrong or this, that, or the
well,
other
it's
thing.
because
to
you've got
try
a
and-
jackass for Attorney General in Indiana.
Yeah.
So the tort claim notes that it seeks unspecified damages for security costs, legal fees, reputational harm, emotional distress, and starts a 90-day clock. He can pay or go to court. So, anyway,
He's going to go to court.
I'm not sure I would if I were him.
Well,
So-
remember these people I've
No,
just noticed.
if he takes this to court, he's going to lose spectacularly, and it's going to be beautiful. I hope he does.
Yeah, he's going to go to court.
I hope he loses.
Captain.
He
will lose.
If he
Do I?
doesn't lose, then I'm done. Absolutely.
It's not medical malpractice.
She would have to pull out some
It's
really
what?
fucking...
He said it's not medical malpractice.
What isn't?
Any part of this.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find what horrible tort reform was done in Indiana in the 90s. That's going to cap this at like $500,000-$600,000
Yeah.
is my guess.
That was.
Those tend to
when
be the numbers
oligarchs
in the
who run
90s.
insurance companies paid Congress to
Yeah.
and other
Well, everyone.
legislative bodies to limit court awards.
It was why you heard on every news channel, everywhere, all the time about how we were suddenly this litigious society.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
everybody kind of knew someone who kind of knew someone whose cousin's dogs.
And back
friends,
then you had to
groomers.
buy. Back then you had to buy the airtime, and now you have these huge botnets, and you've got your customers all spread out for you on the internet.
And I don't think they had to buy the airtime as much, but
The
talking
agreed,
heads
they
have
could
always
get
wanted
their
to go to the good parties.
yeah. Well, and that's where they got their talking points,
Yeah.
right? Because somebody wrote something for them, so they could sit there and read it. So anyway, but there's more.
No, no. What?
Yeah.
No.
So Attorney General Todd Rokita has been hit with a formal misconduct complaint over his threats to prosecute a doctor who performed an abortion.
Yes.
So it's been filed by the dean of the Indiana University's Maurer School of Law, in which she alleged that he intended to harass and intimidate, that he falsely insinuated that she did not properly file a terminated pregnancy report. Anyway, and he did it on national television.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did.
So
Hmm.
we'll see what happens.
I
He
hope
still
this-
hasn't revoked anything he said. He hasn't gone back on anything.
No, and he won't, because the way that they, these types of Republicans work now is when they're wrong and they're proven wrong, they double down, right? They're like, oh, it's a cover-up, oh, the liberals, oh, things.
Because they want to look for any possible excuse for why their worldview doesn't have to change. They don't want to have to rethink their life.
No. There's no misconception.
When you're winning, you don't have to.
Right.
And they are in
And
the
hey,
fuck
Democrats, they're
arguably
winning. They're winning because you can't get off your goddamn back.
Well, they stormed the Capitol, and exactly no one in charge is going to jail.
Yeah.
Like, the highest they're going to get is Steve Bannon.
And he's kind of floor sweeping.
Well, and DOJ already rolled over and showed its tummy.
Hmm.
It's going to be a real secret police one day. You watch. It's drinking milk. And fucking waterboarding. Bunch of bitches.
Court of the Star Chamber.
Fucking embarrassing. Oh. All right, can we move on? This is just
Absolutely.
there should be consequences. All right, who should have consequences today?
So the Atlanta area prosecutor scrutinizing former President Donald Trump's attempt to overturn the 2020 illegal attempts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia.
Illegal, unlawful.
Unlawful.
Because they have no legal, like, underpinning. It's just, we don't like that.
Right.
Voting's dumb now.
So now all 16 of Georgia's fake electors who participated in the plan to subvert the Electoral College have now been informed they are targets of a criminal investigation.
Man.
Anyway.
It depends what stage.
I want that to, like, be the opening of an episode of fucking Justified, where the next shot is them waking up to fucking feds drinking coffee in their kitchen going, hi, you're in our house. We own this.
We own this now?
Everything the U.S. government knew you owned, actually ours right now.
Yeah.
Everything the light touches is ours. Wait, turn that light on, Steve.
You're gonna need to get, they give you vouchers for a local hotel, and they tell you to get in contact with a lawyer,
God, I
to
hope
get
it's
in
a
contact
Motel
with a
6.
judge, to
One
get
that-
any of the money to hire a lawyer.
It has to be a Motel 6 that specifically has
That's what I
bed
was
bugs.
Hey,
So anyway, they're clearly closing in. The more important thing is that these fake electors, many of them were in the meetings where people talked about what the plan was.
yep.
And the plan,
Yeah, these aren't gajillionaires. This isn't some
Yeah.
overstock CEO asshole who can be like, meh, I'll probably
not
win.
all of them, but
I'm just saying,
yeah.
we should treat these kids like they treat the next 10, the 10 before them and the 10 after they show up to that jail.
And the ones who have lots of money and a passport should be considered flight risks and put in a cell.
I don't know. We're going to arrest them on Friday, so we're not having this conversation until Monday.
Liam.
Yeah, no, fuck them. They should get the full ride. We should fix the system. That's absolutely
We should
sure.
give them a
But let's
new experience.
pitch some Richie Riches through it first.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? They're not real people.
Not anymore. They lost that right.
So
No,
anyway, it does appear to be closing in on, on
No, go
Trump's
ahead.
inner circle. Right, so Eastman and Giuliani
Oh, yeah.
and all the rest of the
They'll have them.
scum. So,
Yeah, fair. All right. Boomer Rex is about damn time. Tell me the good news, sir.
the Secret Service has been ordered by the National Archives and Records Administration to conduct an investigation into how texts from Secret Service agents dated on January 6th went missing. And the Secret Service has yet to tell the same story twice.
I don't know
So-
why we're talking to the Secret Service. I would call one of the other alphabet cousins, specifically the NSA, and I would get everything. I would want to know who's having an
This
affair.
is how it starts.
Oh no. I would be going through with my goal to get FBI law or federal law enforcement officers to commit suicide because I'm about to air their laundry. We're gonna find out who's been searching a lot of stepdaughter porn
Yeah.
with like other characteristics that make it creepy. So it's not the like anyway. No, I fuck these people.
So it's not the innocuous kind.
Burn. Yeah, because there's a whole fucking good discussion about the weird way that fucking tags have affected how people search for porn.
So, the records office is demanding the full report on the records and how they could have been deleted without authorization. Letter demands Secret Service send back a report on its findings within 30 calendar days. States that the report must include a complete description of the records affected, a statement of the exact circumstances surrounding the deletion, a statement of the safeguards established to prevent further loss of documentation, and details of all agency actions taken to salvage, retrieve, or reconstruct the records. So they're going to be
All I can
busy.
picture is the Cowardly Lion in a suit. Weren't they upset
So they were
about
just
some
giving-
stuff in Mar-a-Lago? Haven't heard anything about that recently.
So they were just given a bunch of time to come up with a lie.
And this is the nature of things. This is how we set up these
Yeah.
investigations. It's probably a mistake, but this is the first step to church hearings,
Yeah,
or whatever they'll be called.
right. Or to sending the NSA in.
Yeah, no, that I would absolutely do.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit about what happened. Idiot. I'm not looking at January 6th. I want to know the weird porn you were watching last night, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I got your location data from Facebook. How many times did you... I also have your text messages to your wife about all those times I'm working late and you were not.
Right. Well, unless you were working...
Should we
that-
bring her in to talk to her about that? And maybe this
Unless
other
you were
one that
working
texted
in that
before?
apartment on
Yeah.
14th Street. So, anyway. Yeah.
Fuck these people. All right. Dumbass of the day.
Oh, you got to admit, it's been a long time since we heard from Mike Lindell.
Oh,
No,
what is
no,
he up
no.
to?
He says at least 1 billion people
He's gonna
will
stab me
watch
in the
his
brain.
upcoming summit on election fraud.
So by a billion, he means like maybe
1,000.
I don't know, but I have to be one of them, so shut up and feel bad for me.
Oh shit, that's right. We should watch it. Fuck.
Oh, they're hilarious.
I don't have to watch it because you two are.
So, anyway.
You know what? No.
Oh.
You're a Gen Zer. This is important. Now you have to watch it, motherfucker. Fuck you. This is what you get for opening your mouth. You could have stayed quiet, and I wouldn't have thought about it. But you opened your
Had
mouth.
to make it about winning and losing.
So, anyway.
So crestfallen. Just
He's calling it the
We're not into
moment of truth seminar. This will be what, the 7th or 8th time
Oh, yeah.
he's claimed he was going to blow the doors off the.
Please
Yeah.
tell me this isn't
Hold
going to
down
be.
the election.
He's doing it sometime in August.
Hold on. Please tell me this isn't going to be one of his 48 hours where he talks every couple
What
of
is this, a
hours.
filibuster?
For a couple of hours.
Basically.
Because
And does
many of,
drugs and then comes back.
many of the people who've been feeding him bullshit are not going to be willing to show up and say it in public because they don't want to be sued.
Yep.
Can I just say one thing? Mike Lindell is one of the few people in all of this who I think, honestly believes
Oh, yeah.
this shit.
He's super dumb. He'd
He is
believe
one
any
of
of
the
this shit.
very few people that I think truly is caught up in this. And that to me is two things. It's one, sad, but two, he's an addict. This is his new fucking addiction.
Yes. That's what modern
I
addiction
hate it when people take the words right out of my damn mouth. Drives me fucking nuts.
Sorry.
No, it was perfect. Those are exactly the words I was thinking. Right? He is addicted
This
to
is
the
what
idea
happened.
that he knows something nobody else knows.
This is what happens when you let Jesus take the wheel. And you're not just, oh shit, I spilled my drink, or
This
something
is like
else
Fight Club,
sane.
okay?
Yeah, this is the bad kind of crazy.
the
You have
bad.
an imaginary friend who's not going to help you form a national group
Yeah,
of other
just
real
love it.
friends that you hung out with in real life. You can't remember all of it. That's weird, but that's still a fucking better story than Mike Lindell's shit.
And of course, he's lashing out at Fox News and Newsmax, Salem Media, for refusing to broadcast his conspiracy theories because they don't want to be sued.
Jump off
either.
the cliff with me. God will save us.
Yes. Why wouldn't you talk about government cameras catching people committing felonies? Yeah, I'm sorry. I've seen all
I
that.
like living
shit.
indoors, idiot.
Yeah.
I don't have that advanced training you do.
His efforts to overturn the election would culminate on 2 days in August, and it'll be seen by 1 billion people.
Oh,
hey,
God.
you forgot to claim you were going to restore Trump. You have you given up on that claim, Mr. Lindell?
Yeah, I think so.
So,
I think so.
I mean, well, he was going to do it. And that whole thing with God taking the wheel, I'm visualizing a curvy road
Yeah.
with really solid concrete walls, and he's just bouncing from wall to wall.
Boom, 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 boom.
If there is a God, I hope he steers that wheel in the wrong direction and gets him killed.
Right.
I think they do that.
Let's
Anyway.
not wish death upon people. That's not nice. Okay. Oh, just fuck. We saved that shit for a pregame show, okay? I'm just saying. Give us
Fair.
$1.
Yeah, okay.
Give us the fucking $1.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you want to hear us rant and rave, give us a
Yeah,
dollar.
if you want to hear what we really, really, really think, because this is actually us being mild. Keep that in mind. Okay. Just fuck 'em. Who are we just fucking
God.
today?
So even though abortion is legal in Minnesota, you've got a division in the Republican Party, and the anti-choice folks are banging on the folks who support women's right to choose. So one of the things this idiot said today, and let's see, what's his name? Scott Jensen. No, wait a minute. It's Tim Waltz.
Okay.
So, anyway, one of the things this idiot said is, our culture loudly but stealthily promotes abortion. They're telling women they should look a certain way and they should have careers and all these things. No, our culture is not telling women they have to have careers. It's telling them they have the choice. And so at other times, he's been saying that they probably need to make women stop working and start raising families and stuff.
Don't you see the madness? If you keep going down this road, sooner or later the domesticated vaginas will escape. They'll be able to have lives and shit. We used to freak out about women on bicycles because literally that they could escape, that they could flee.
They could be.
Do you guys just,
Fuck these people.
for a quick moment, from a woman, want to hear a perspective? Okay, this whole thing is bullshit. Absolute horseshit. It's not the 1950s, no matter how badly you want it to be. That whole thing, first of all, one person can no longer make enough money to support a household on average. On average. There is the occasional people who make more
Half
money.
of us
that's
left,
fine.
it would double everyone else's pay.
But another thing is that there are plenty of men nowadays who choose to be stay-at-home husbands.
Yep.
And they
If
are
they can afford it.
perfectly happy.
Yeah.
They make better caretakers.
There are some households in which the women make more money than the men.
Yeah.
And the men in those relationships are perfectly happy.
Yeah.
Women make better employees. They're more cooperative by nature. They aren't as ego-driven.
Right. I always said I've known 3 women managers, and that's a small sample, but every damn one of them was superb. And I've said it's because that picture you take when you kill the rhino, right, with the rifle on the waist and the foot on the head of the dead rhino. They don't need that picture, right? They just need the work to get done.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly willing to kind of talk people into it.
No, I've only ever had one female boss who was into that big desk bullshit or any of the bullshit psychology from the late 1800s, early 1900s that drives so much of today.
Yeah. So anyway, again, I think women tend to focus more on cooperation and getting the task done.
Goal driven.
Whereas
not
men are
ego.
looking for, exactly, or a lot of men are. Anyway, the point that you made is perfectly valid, right? One of the problems with having let the minimum wage get to become 1/3 of what it needs to be. The minimum wage should be raised to something in the neighborhood of $21, $22 an hour tomorrow. But the effect of that is we put every woman in America to work. So it would be great. It would be fantastic to see what happens in Minnesota if all the women decided to stay home tomorrow. Because they're 51.5% of the workforce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we saw what happened in Poland.
Yeah.
Nothing. Didn't change anything. They still have the same issue. Or at least last time I checked. I wasn't able to find anything updated from if anything had happened after 2001. But.
Well, and the thing is, even if your entire point is you want people to form up in families again, As it stands, one person can barely support themselves, and one person cannot support themselves on the current national minimum wage, unless they're very lucky and happen to live in a situation where they get some money from outside sources.
Or they come from a family with money and had better connections and
Hence
were
the
able to
outside
get a
sources.
better job to begin with. That's not
Yeah,
outside
but
sources.
that
That's
wouldn't
inside
be
family
minimum
I'm
wage.
talking about at national minimum wage.
sources.
That's the specification.
Yeah, no, sorry, I missed that part. You are correct. At minimum wage, no, nobody can live off of minimum wage. It's just not possible.
Not even themselves. So how would you expect somebody to, within reason, be
hold
able
on.
to get enough to host an entire family and themselves?
Right, but to be fair, in different states and different areas, it is easier to live on minimum wage because some states have been progressive and have updated their minimum wage, but then you have some states that have never updated their minimum wage. This whole trickle down theory, as companies make more money, they're gonna quote unquote pay people better, which we have
Doesn't
seen
work.
regularly does not happen.
They are going to pay people more if they don't have to.
Let them get a little more profit or a little more money, as they did in the COVID epidemic, they do share buybacks. That's what they do with the money. So
Well, it makes the company look healthy.
it makes the company
And
look
harder to
healthy, and it
take
makes
over.
their stock holdings
Worth more.
Worth more. So anyway, next up, Representative Jody Heiss, Republican of Georgia, has been subpoenaed by that. Remember the Fulton County District Attorney? Yeah. So anyway, former Security Department Chief of Staff Miles Taylor says of them, look, there's several congressional and Senate folks who are being investigated. I don't think any of them have been told they're a target yet, but they have been subpoenaed. And he says, these aren't people who can say, well, I didn't know the law and didn't know how it worked.
Because they're the ones that make it.
That's
Or at least
not
decide
a
on it.
defense that they
Yeah,
can
ignorance of the
use.
crime is not a defense.
Right. And these are people who lived that cycle. They lived the process. They go through the electoral process. They absolutely knew better. And if we're making jokes about this, somewhere in here, there'd have to be a public service announcement for people who are, kind of around Donald Trump. And the PSA would be, y'all need to get yourself a good criminal defense attorney because they're starting to come for you. So anyway, we'll see.
No, I think the bigger tragedy that's going to come from all of this is that, Trump is going to get away scot-free because the DOJ doesn't dare try to indict him, doesn't dare try to charge
We'll
him
see.
with anything. No, because here's the problem. If they do, all that does is put Trump in a position where he's going to, oh, see, we told you they were going to do this, and then he's going to have lawyers who are going to say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. You can't whatever. He's dumb. He's whatever. Blah, blah, blah. He really believed this. Blah, blah, blah. And he's going to get off anyway.
I don't think we're Columbia. I don't think we'll hold out if they start dropping, well, not Supreme Court justices,
Yeah,
but...
we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest issue.
I think that's how you end up calling in this game, but...
Can
if the government goes after Trump, almost all of his followers are going to get outraged and they're going to do really fucking stupid shit, and that's going to end in probably not well for a lot
That
of
just
people.
means
sadly.
the U.S. Army doesn't have to pay for pop-up targets this month.
Or we
Fair.
find out the U.S. Army has a firefight at the... Yeah.
At the arms room. Yeah.
No, I think that... Shit, I had a point.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
it's
off
fine.
on that.
It's fine. But the thing is that Trump is never gonna catch any
We'll see.
flack from this.
What will determine whether Trump gets charged or not is which of the people who were in that inner circle looking at
Has
how
he
to...
crossed the Blagojevich line?
Yes, I think he has. I think he's way over it. And I think what's going to happen to him is that the people close to him are going to make a deal and testify against him. And then it would be very difficult not to charge him and convict him. Because now you've got people who were in the room with him saying, this is what he did, this is what he asked for, this is, etc.
Rob
So-
Blagojevich being the governor of Indiana.
No.
Tried to sell Obama's Senate
Yeah.
seat and went to jail for a gajillion years. then got pardoned, I do believe,
Of course.
by Trump.
Of course.
Well, what crime did he commit? He had a thing, he sold it for whatever the value was.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, if that's your kind of capitalism, the Poland thing. Poland at the big march of 430,000 women, that's 3% of their population, of their female population. So, no, if Wisconsin, right, half of your workforce doesn't show up, it's an undeclared holiday. Everyone else should go home. Oops. But doubtful. I mean, hey, I hope, but I also hope for a general strike.
Can I just say that it is hard in today's economic situations with most Americans for people to do something like that, to either stop working or even take a couple of days off to strike or whatever. Most people can't afford to do that, so you're not going to get the large numbers that you really need.
Yes,
because people are going to
also why they're going to fall in line and learn how to say whatever new Trump we make up about Trump Jr.
I've also seen some disturbing reports that there's a new thing going around, King MAGA.
No, it's an interesting crossbreed between the King bullshit and the MAGA cats. But
I want to look into it just to see if
that's where all the tall king, short king, whatever king comes from.
Okay.
So loads of scumbags, and every man is a king. Women are dogs. You can basically put your knob in.
I heard that Trump is trying to collect money on this, so I want to see what's going on with that, and we'll get back to you to see if it's anything or nothing. It could be nothing. So I'm just it was just something I had stumbled across at some point today, and it was interesting to me, and I think I need to do some more research into it. So I just wanted to mention it, so I'm more likely to do something about it.
Cool.
All right, not the majority by any measure.
So one of the things that's been happening, especially evangelicals, have been taking over their churches and turning them into a hotbed of Christian nationalism, which has nothing to do with Jesus or God or anything else.
No matter how much they try and claim it.
Which is part of the reason that their numbers are down dramatically over the last 10 years as the churches became more extreme, more racist, more bigoted. People left the church.
It's down 30%.
And so they're
one generation on generation on generation.
Yeah. No, they just don't appeal, and they think they have all this great power. And so they're always babbling about some stuff. And so we can talk about some of the things that they want to do, right? To put religious symbols on public property.
Oh, cool. I'll have fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
60% of Republicans think that's a good idea.
Satanists get them. Not the Republicans, probably, but the statue nonsense. Go there, get you some fucking great Bahamut shit going on.
Yeah.
Do another library. I love it when it's the libraries.
So Democrats, 52% say no thank you.
Only 52% do.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's the hill to die on.
No, the rest are undecided, and what percentage is okay with it?
Well, they're lost and have a longer question about what religion.
Okay, so only 22% is for it. The other, the other percentage is like,
Can talk themselves either way, and then Democrats answer that question honestly.
Yeah. Public school teachers should be allowed to lead students in Christian prayers. Only 45% of Republicans believe that.
Yeah, that's small amount.
Yeah.
30% oppose it, and 60% of Democrats. Again, they're not a majority here.
Is there an uncertain percentage?
Yeah, it tends to run around 20%.
Artemis, those kids, get those kids.
Um,
Come out of the closet at night. You're a ghost. It's okay. I can advocate ghost violence, I'm pretty sure.
The U.S. Constitution was inspired by God and reflects God's vision for America. Only 29% of Republicans agree with that. 58% disagree with it. 78% of Democrats disagree with it. Again, they're this tiny minority, right? We should be out there encouraging them to pursue this shit.
No, they still don't get it. They were the human shields of the money kids.
Yeah.
From the 70s and 80s on. And they were useful delivering meat to call centers. Because that's what they could do, right? They were the answer. They were the Republicans' answer to the Democrats' unions. Because unions can make more phone calls than anyone can imagine.
Yeah.
So they needed a large manpower group that could do that, and that was churches.
Fair. No, that makes sense.
And it was back when people actually answered their phones.
Well, now we got prisoners doing it in some places.
Well, I mean, we were doing phone banking, and we were getting, it was getting answered.
I am glad I blew off so many more of those phone calls than I ever
15%
admitted.
of the time. Oh, well, sorry. But
I'm not. Fuck Kirsten Sinema right in her dead little eyes.
true. I am very sorry for having supported her. And then the last one is declare the U.S. a Christian nation. 26% of Republicans believe that pig shit.
Only 26. That
only
is
26.
so
That is
low.
crazy, right?
Only 6% of Democrat. I don't know. How do you become a Democrat and believe that crap?
Yeah, that's
And-
weird. That's that litmus test that needs to happen.
Yeah, and 80% oppose.
Oh,
So again, the thing to remember is
how are there people
that the
unsigned
Christian
up?
nationalists are a tiny fraction of America. This would
Yeah,
suggest
rightfully so.
that they are sort of 30% of the Republican Party.
The hell did you go to?
That may be enough to dictate who the candidates are, right? This may, in a primary, they may decide who the candidate is.
Yeah.
And then we have to make the candidate talk about the goals of Christian nationalism.
Man, I get that, and that has led to us leaning on the scales for some
Lesser
not
of two
good
evils.
choice. Aye.
No. Don't ever say
That's
those
not
words.
going well in Pennsylvania for us. Or
No.
right, every time we're like, no, this is the guy. He'll be so easy to beat. My favorite example of this is the MSNBC.
Mastriani is not leading that race.
Oh, is he within the margin?
What?
Is it close?
I don't
There's
know. What
other elections I'm not allowed to talk about.
It's what?
There are other elections I'm not allowed to talk about.
Okay.
So maybe shut up about which numbers are fucked up and let me make the actual overarching point.
Oh,
Unless you'd like me to discuss other things. But no, we have this MSNBC fucking production people. We're talking about how, yeah, they're going to make Trump the nominee because he'll be so easy to beat.
Better hope so.
No.
There's a terrorist attack. There's any of about 9 fucking things that wouldn't be, like hard or unbelievable. If inflation doesn't get
can we
better.
please not coach the Trump heads on what their false flag operation should be?
Yeah, they already know the phrase, and
I know.
we're lucky they're incredibly bad at it. Again, it's what happens when you think Jack Bauer is 24 is a fucking documentary.
Yeah.
No, I think that, if this, ever plays out again with, Trump or anything, that he's going to succeed in whatever overthrowing he tries to do.
Mhm.
And he's going to
Anyone who would have given the order would now be the Emperor of the United States.
all they
With the
need.
full faith and fury of the former Republic's military behind it. Because anything for stability to keep their families safe.
Yeah.
No, the only thing that he needs to do is to, and he doesn't even need to do anything. The only thing that needs to happen for him to win and become a real problem is for Republicans to gain the supermajority come these midterms.
Destroy the filibuster. Oh, they won't get a Senate supermajority this cycle.
No, not even close.
Anyway, what you were saying.
But to get some sort of a majority, right? And then do the filibuster thing or whatever they want to do. And then Trump is
Sky's the
emperor
limit.
forever. And there will be nothing anyone can do to stop it. The Secret Service has already shown they're maybe a little bit on his side.
Well, and
maybe a little bit.
only one party has any history of talking about a continental Congress, and all the other
Yeah.
things you would need to actually redefine
Yep.
anything you want.
Go through and rewrite the Constitution.
Oh,
Yep.
I remember.
That is certainly the plan of the Christian nationalists.
Yeah, that's what they've spent 40 years doing.
Yeah.
I remember the thing I wanted to talk about earlier, and this is actually a question.
Hell yeah.
Does the DOJ can DOJ rulings be overturned by the Supreme Court?
Yes, they'd be done in a federal court.
Oh, then Trump will never get elected. Not gonna happen. Or will never get convicted. I mean,
Yeah.
even if the DOJ convicts him, if the Supreme Court can overrule that, they fucking will.
That's true. We have made a kangaroo court.
That's why they were reaching out to try and get the charges moved to federal court in Georgia.
Right.
Because then they can be pardoned. Right now, if it's state charges, they fucked.
Yeah.
Now, DOJ can reach out and take those cases away. It's over to
Not
$75,000,
sure
and it's in multiple states. Where is the crime? Is
The crime was committed in Georgia. Period. It's a violation of Georgia law.
You can do interstate conspiracy.
Stop giving them ideas.
Oh no, DOJ is good. They know how to. I can. They know what they're getting out of this deal. Same as the Secret Service. We ruined the Secret Service in 2003 when we pulled it out from Treasury. Man, it became cowboys and batshit like ATF and everything else.
Yeah.
But yes, it's so far that's been struck down, and I agree with that interpretation that the crime was committed in Georgia. But
All right, let's move on. Getting worse. Oh no, it's getting worse. Do I even want to do this?
Yeah, it's been said before. The rich are getting richer, and everybody else is getting poorer, and it's absolutely true. S&P 500 CEOs got a roughly 18% bump in compensation, averaging 18.3 million in 2021. That's 324 times the median workers' pay at those companies.
That's insane.
And median worker.
Or like the middle of the road. We're not
That's
talking grunts.
half
We're
make
talking...
more, half make less.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And then those rank and file employees typically saw wages go up by 4.7% in 2021.
That's not
Didn't
enough to
even-
cover rent.
It didn't even keep up with inflation. So
Just so people who maybe don't understand how this works is that rent goes up an average. Well, recently I can say in the state of New Hampshire, rent has gone up $100 a year. A year. Do you know that you do not get raises of $100 a month
right.
yearly from your job? It just doesn't happen. So again, this is aggressively hurt. 5% is not $100 a month for your average minimum wage worker.
Yep.
This isn't even gonna do anything. This is stupid.
yep. Yeah, that would mean if you got a 62 cents a year raise, right? Every year you got a 62-cent raise per hour. That would cover your rent going up.
Yeah.
Can I just say that in my years of working, when I first started working when I was like 16, I would get 25 or 50-cent raises.
The only time I ever saw someone, oh, sorry.
Recently, in more recent years, because I was out of the workforce for 5 years and then came back into it. And when I came back into it and I got my first raise, it was 10 cents. Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to thank them for that. I actually think it was 5 cents. And I was supposed to be grateful for that. Like, that was like a big thing. It was like a 1% raise.
Only person I ever saw get a good raise was the boss's drug dealer.
That is fair.
Yeah, I had to go to corporate to get a $2 an hour raise.
All right.
So let's see.
Are we?
Anyway, again, it's a symptom of what researchers are calling greedflation. Companies raise prices to boost profits, which in turn juices their stock prices and generates windfall profits for CEOs. Right? Half of the inflation we're looking at right now has exactly that as a source. We're gouging the American people.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the Republicans don't want to hear about a windfall tax because they were kind of hoping that their rich owners would give them some of that money they stole.
Punishing the winners.
Anyway.
Oh, my God.
And so as long as we're talking about it, Amazon has the dubious honor of having the highest CEO to worker pay ratio in the S&P 500. It's 6,474 to 1. So their CEO is worth the efforts of 6,474 people. Right.
Well, those people should stay home tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because clearly they're not worth it.
Oh, and all
Yeah, we need a fucking Who Runs Bartertown moment.
Note.
Yeah.
I think you should all come down with long COVID. Just do that. It'll be fine. All right. Updates with BoomerRex health threat.
I got nothing new on health threats, but we can go straight to climate weirding.
Did you fucking?
I visited Britain in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold and rainy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm reminded of Mark Twain's thing, right? The coldest winter I ever spent was summer in Seattle.
Fair.
It was, they're setting heat records
Left and right.
left and right.
They
And
were
these
40
are
Celsius,
heat records that these temperatures have never occurred anywhere in Great Britain before.
What kind of temperatures are we talking?
104 degrees.
Damn! No, I was expecting something in the 90s, high 90s.
Yeah.
I was not expecting 104. That is crazy.
Today it was 104.
Yep. In some places, not everywhere, right? But the point is,
In the UK. Bro.
Yeah.
You know,
again,
places.
UK is completely off its climatology, right? There's nothing in the climatology that would suggest you'd ever see these temperatures. So, anyway. Hey.
No bueno.
No, well,
If you still think climate change ain't real, it's obviously happening.
yeah. Well, and
God, I hope you're getting paid to
What?
be ignorant.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Fair.
Because that I could at least understand.
Well, I'm guessing Herschel Walker's getting paid for being ignorant, right? That the dirty air from China comes to us and our nice clean air goes over there and we have to sort it out again.
Right.
And
All right.
Jesus
I
Christ,
promised
what a
if y'all
dipshit.
listen to all the shit we had to talk about today, that there would be a funny and amusing, lighthearted story at the end.
Okay.
Ooh.
So here's
So
my.
do we want to end on good things, or do we want to end on your funny thing? Like, I'm not saying this isn't a good thing as well.
Oh no! If you have something to go for it.
Because it didn't come up because I didn't see us have a about goddamn time, or I might have been
Oh,
reading
shit.
stuff. But
Did we not have?
Rep
We hadn't
Ocasio
about-
Cortez, Ilham Omar. Come on, shitheads. There's a list of them somewhere. Brain, read faster. But 17 lawmakers were arrested.
As part of a group of 34
Yep, outside the Supreme Court protesting.
protesting.
Why
Now
were
there
they
we are.
arrested?
What?
Why were under what grounds?
Roe
were
v.
they-
White.
Because the men with the guns said, "Get over here." And the same reason you're always arrested. Because they
Were
don't see people
they-
get shot in the back. It'd be one
Were,
more statistic.
were they doing anything inappropriate, or
You
were
aren't
they
allowed to hassle the Supreme Court. If you step on the steps, you go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
So they stepped on the step.
I have no idea.
Oh.
The men with the guns showed up and just took them.
And decided. So we'll see whether or not it holds up. We'll see whether the charges stick.
But the nice thing is, we should be scheduling votes tomorrow because you can't hold them if there's a vote.
So, hey, Democrats, way to fucking go.
Yeah.
And AOC, wow.
Was she
Keep
arrested?
it up.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me read the list.
Yeah.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Carolyn Maloney of New York, Ilham Omar of Minnesota, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, Cori Bush of Missouri, Veronica Escobar of Texas, Jackie Spear and Barbara Lee of California, Anaya Presley and Katarina Clark of Massachusetts, or Catherine Clark, sorry. And I had to count and see if that was 17. We'll pretend that was 17. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
All women.
So, way to go.
Did
They got off their backs and went out and did something. Keep it up. Throw another elbow.
Wow. No, that's really awesome. I will say I'm kind of sad that you men have not been involved in this, but step it up. I believe in you.
Hey, but Pelosi read a little poem. Oh, and they all got together and sang on the Capitol steps.
Oh, yeah.
We Are the World, or some other garbage song.
Yeah.
I think it's saying God Bless America.
Nothing.
but-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking singing again. Don't get me started. You know how I get.
I know.
Yeah, but I can't get past Nancy Pelosi and her point. That one just pisses me off. So. Way to go, Nancy.
Did they specifically just pick out these because they were whatevers?
Wasn't there?
All right, I'm
I'm
gonna
not
have
a
to look
Nazi.
into this because this
Yeah,
is
I mean, New
there's
York
got to
Cop-
be video. I'm sure there's video. Anyway, we're gonna.
There's a cool picture of AOC getting arrested.
You're my girl, AOC. I love you, AOC.
I wanna see. All right.
Yeah.
That's probably going to end up being the picture, like, if I ever get around to wanting a picture of AOC, that's going to be the one. It's like my fucking, I love it. The picture of Barack Obama smoking that joint.
Is it a
Cool.
real picture?
Yeah.
Oh, is it from after he was president?
No.
What?
Yeah, well, Barack Obama's not that cool.
Was it before or during? Before, right?
In college.
Oh, fine. That's
Yeah,
fucking
no
cool.
shit.
All right. Anyway, so let's get on to that was amazing.
Maybe it's a cigarette.
Oh, hand rolled, maybe. Anyway, BuzzFeed.com did this just absolutely laugh out loud, hysterical destruction of people. I'll just read it. So it's called "Millennials is a Funny Way to Spell Corporate Greed." 17 tweets for millennials who aren't about to take blame for inflation by Megan Lescombe. You just fucking, I love you, Megan. Fucking keep it up. All right. She says, as a typical millennial, I wake up every day and immediately buy 10 iced coffees with a extra large avocado toast, take a cute selfie, and settle in for a long day of killing industries. On Friday, I took a quick break from not buying diamonds, houses, or paper napkins to see what was going on over on Twitter. Well, I learned that millennials are now being blamed for inflation, and that was news to me and basically every other millennial. And she has this hysterical gif that says, "Are you sure about that?" It's really funny. Anyway, she continues. The disclosure started thanks to a CNBC piece where a strategist claimed that millennials are driving inflation because so many people in our generation, quote unquote, waited to enter the housing market and make other big purchases. Yep. Just us biding our time for no reason at all, hoarding all of our precious gold like so many 27 to 42-year-old dragons, only to unleash all of our spending power at once and ruin everything yet again. Surely there were no other external factors motivating our decisions, such as a housing affordability crisis or massive student loan debt. This unfortunate take has since been picked up by other outlets like Fortune and Newsweek, and it continues to stir up conversation. Needless to say, millennials are not about to lay down and take the blame for this one. Here are some of the best millennial responses to this extremely questionable inflation claim. The first one, if we destroy the Necronomicon, can we send the millennials back to hell and stop inflation? Number two, wow, I wonder why millennials waited so long to make major purchases. Truly a mystery. Oh well, time to find a 100-year-old hedge fund manager and ask him his expert opinion on unions.
Oh, God. I did like that one.
That one made me giggle. It's your fault you were born and can't afford a house, not the people who had tons of kids and then bought 2 vacation homes for themselves.
Or the Wall Street organizations that have now bought a third of the houses in a number of different places.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not contributing to a shortage now.
No.
Or the fact that everyone's buying up a bunch of land and then selling it at a massive markup for no reason.
That's what he was just saying. Okay. So are these quote-unquote millennials in the room with us now?
Also a good one.
That one took me a minute. I had to read it twice, and then I died. Because it's suggesting that they're like ghosts, like invisible people. Like, oh my God, I died. There were just as many millennials 2 years ago when inflation was 0%. Can we please stop running headlines whose casual logic is untenable? Yes, let's blame the people who have no influence over policy and some of the lowest buying power in American history. They're the problem. Every day we get closer to this joke converging with reality. I think that's supposed to have a GIF.
Nah, it's a quote of the thing above it.
Ah, fine.
Or response to.
Okay, so the thing that they're all responding to says, I probably should have read this earlier. Millennials are to blame for sky-high inflation, strategist says, and it was posted by CNBC News. So these are people replying to that.
Yeah.
Millennials is a funny way to spell corporate greed. Wonder which style guide they use. I thought that one was good.
Love that.
Oh, this is another good one. Schrodinger's millennial strikes again. Millennials are broke. Why don't you just save your money instead of eating avocado toast? Millennials save money. Oh my God, if you don't buy more avocado toast, we're all gonna die. It's literally capitalism. Capitalism is to blame. That one was good.
Yeah, every 10 years, capitalism catches on fire.
Oh, it's millennials that have been hoarding wages and driving corporate greed for 20 years before they were born. They're raising cost of living at absurd rates. I'm going to take an at-bat here for millennials and call bullshit on this.
Yeah.
Millennials have so much power. Everyone should be treating us like Omega level mutants. That one for sure.
We are the shadow government.
This is another good one. Did price gouging write this? Or was it CEO pay?
Yeah.
That's true too. Here's a, I think this is the last one. Yes. So we have in the United States a whole lot of people aged 27 to 42 who postponed home buying, car buying for about 7 years later than most generations. None of us had fucking money to buy anything, you absolute fucking cold corn dog brain. That one made me giggle. Yeah, so that was your, I think there was supposed to be more, but my screen won't load it, so whatever. Yeah, so those were my amusements, and I thought you'd all appreciate them.
Yep.
Because once again, millennials are being blamed for some ludicrous thing because, you know, the whole Biden thing wasn't sticking the way they hoped, and then gas prices started to go down like a smidge, and then people were like, shit, we need to find a new person to pin this on.
Well,
Right.
millennials are the ones who the boomers are getting yelled at work or ostracized or whatever, right? They're the ones who are making the boomers feel bad about saying the wrong thing or saying it the wrong way. Because fucking millennials, many of us are entirely too spiny to be approached normally. Why do you think they like work from home?
Yeah.
That and we don't have to be in the cars for hours and hours because, that's
Yep.
right, we can't live near the nice things.
And it saves us money because we don't have to be in the cars for hours.
Yep.
No, but
Which corporations are trying to take back.
Yeah,
True.
we'll take back.
and if you haven't seen, we did millennial versus boomer meme share roast, and we broke down each
Yeah, that was fun.
statement and fact or fiction sort of thing, and that was a lot of fun. So I recommend that if none of this means anything, if you're not understanding this, go back to that, because that explains the avocado toast thing, which was just stupid. As one dude that was like, "Oh, millennials like avocado toast," and
Yeah, he was a tall, rich white guy,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
have to hear what he has to say.
I think it was an Australian, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so definitely go back and watch that. It for nothing else, it is brilliantly hysterical.
And remember that generations, like time and money, is just a thing we made up.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like that show that we did a lot to help bridge the gap, right? So if you have issues with boomers, or you're a boomer and you have issues with millennials, hopefully that show will help you.
As all things, it's a phrase that was useful in its academic setting and has now escaped to the wild and should be hunted by helicopters.
Oh, there was a couple Gen X jokes in there too.
Oh, yeah.
You Gen Xers. So there's a little something for everybody. I think there was a couple Gen Z jokes in there too.
I don't know. We're too busy eating Tide Pods.
Yeah, no,
I
we'd
think
have to
that
use
was
that
one
chocolate
of them.
bar.
Actually, I truly believe that was the one. So anyway, we love you all. I hope that kind of made you laugh and giggle like it did me, because I was
for random points
dying.
and how they taste.
Yeah.
You can ask asshole. I was reading it, and I knew he'd already read it, and I felt bad, but it was so funny. I was reading it out loud.
I love that.
So,
Well, and again, what it shows is that the moneyed interests are still working very hard
oh yeah.
to divide the generations, because it's the only way they get to rule. Right?
If you can divide people, you can get power.
Oh shit! Before I forget, your homework Okay? I'm going to tell you what it is.
That brought me the fuck back.
Homework? What?
I haven't heard that phrase. The exact. Hold on, before I forget. Your home. Like, it was weird.
Your homework for tonight, and I will post it. I will put the link in our YouTube description, and it will be on our Facebook. Okay, so go to our Facebook if you're listening to us on a podcasting service, and this is your homework. So it's a salon. It's at salon.com, and it's called Joe Walsh's MAGA warning: if Trump is indicted, expect quote major violence unquote. Outspoken Trump critic Joe Walsh tells Salon why the Democratic Party is outmatched in the fight for democracy by Chauncey De Vega. So you can also find it if you go to salon.com and search, I imagine, for Joe Walsh's MAGA warning. I'm sure it should come up.
You know how scary it is for me to agree with anything Joe Walsh says?
Yeah, no, this is actually kind of scary. So it is a long read. I beg of you to push through it. We will have a discussion on it tomorrow. Right. I will read a couple of key things, but I really need you to push through and read the whole thing. Again, it is long. It might take you a couple of sittings, 10 minutes and 10 minutes.
So this is homework for our listeners?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I completely misunderstood.
All of us
I've
have
already read this.
I put it in the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
If you're smart, you should have read it.
Maybe.
No, you should read it. It'll be hard for you to read. Feel free to ask questions, but definitely read it. It's important. Okay, so, and we will have a discussion on this tomorrow night. Okay, this is. I can't even tell you how fucking I was engrossed when I started reading this, so it's important. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review, smash that like button on YouTube. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. Oh, I didn't have a big enough breath for that one. Hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight, and if you Google BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, all links will lead you to us. We love you all. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Don't forget to do your homework. Love you. Bye.
Good night, Internet.